The season rages on, and while this week definitely felt a little more tame in comparison to the past few, that doesn't mean that there weren't significant changes on this week's power rankings.
Titans, their 6-game win streak, which was the longest in the league, is now snapped. And not only that, the Texans went on the road.
Another week of NFL chaos is in the books. It's time to dive into the Week 12 edition of our 2021 NFL Power Rankings. Number 32, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 31. Back to where they belong. The Lions spent 1 week out of the number 32 spot, but then they fell to the Cleveland Browns in a yawn fest, while last week's number 32 ranked team pulled off perhaps the biggest upset of the season. So the Lions are 0-9-1, with 7 chances left to actually win a game. Hey, on the bright side though, with every bad loss, they get that much closer to Kayvon Thibodeau. Number 31, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 30. Down to their third string QB and Joe Flacco, Gang Green kept it interesting, but ultimately fell 24-17 to a suddenly red-hot Miami Dolphins team. But that's how low the bar is in New York. The hapless Jets can actually be happy about keeping it close against a rival with a losing record. Number 30, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 29. Another ugly loss for Urban Meyer's squad. Word on the street is his days in Duval could be numbered, as the Jags are expected to make sweeping changes to their coaching staff and front office this offseason. And who can blame them? Trevor Lawrence has shown minimal progress so far. If it wasn't for that shocking Week 9 win against the Bills, this team would be challenging the Lions for the number 32 spot in our rankings. Number 29, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 32. Gotta love football. A helpless Houston team went into Tennessee and dominated the AFC's best squad. With 2 victories in the win column, Houston can probably kiss their chances at the first overall pick goodbye. But hey, this was a feel-good win in a lost season that cannot end soon enough. Number 28, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 23. The Falcons looked like a playoff contender just 2 weeks ago when they sat at 4-4, but back-to-back blowout losses have them looking more like a team that'll be drafted in the top 10 rather than a team that'll be playing in the postseason. Matt Ryan was demolished by the New England Patriots. Then again, what did you expect without Calvin Ridley and Cordarrelle Patterson? At least they didn't blow a 28-3 lead this time. Number 27, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 26. Just when it looked like this team might be turning things around, they go and lay an egg like that on national television. Daniel Jones may have secured his pink slip this offseason with that performance against the Bucs. Even with Barkley back, this offense is still a mess, and the defense is no better. Life as a New York football fan is the absolute worst right now. Number 26, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 28. The Bears have had a brutally unforgiving schedule, but unlike the Falcons, Matt Nagy's group is actually staying in games. Andy Dalton nearly led Chicago to an upset victory over a tough Baltimore Ravens squad, just 2 weeks after the Bears were robbed by the officials against Pittsburgh. Unfortunately for Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, just staying in games probably won't be enough for them to keep their jobs past this season. Number 25, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 22. This team is broken. Broken like we haven't seen under Pete Carroll. Has Lumen Field ever been as quiet as they were on Sunday? With the way things are going, you can't help but to think that 2021 will be it for Wilson as a Seahawk. Time for teams to start putting their offers together. Number 24, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 16. 3 straight losses for the Saints since they stunned Tom Brady and the Bucs on Halloween Day. This defense was winning games for them early on, but we may need to stop taking New Orleans seriously as a playoff contender if their offensive struggles continue. Number 23, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 15. Oh look, another Raiders second half collapse. That's 3 straight L's for Vegas now. They've been held to 16 points or less in each of those defeats, and Gus Bradley's defense is suddenly looking more like last year's terrible unit. Boy, do the Raiders need to turn things around, and fast. It won't be easy though, with the Dallas Cowboys next on the schedule. Number 22, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 27. The Dolphins and Raiders are polar opposites. For the third straight year, the Raiders are collapsing following a hot start, while the Dolphins are getting hot after a sluggish first half. 10 days after stunning the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, the Fins held on for a tight road win over the Jets. That is 3 straight wins now, and neither of Miami's next 4 opponents have winning records. Maybe we shouldn't fully close the door on Brian Flores' group just yet. Number 21, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 21. The Broncos were on a bye, but GM George Payton was busy during his off week, handing out multi-year extensions to stud receivers Tim Patrick and Courtland Sutton. That's great news for fans in the Mile High City. And at 5-5, the Broncos are still very much alive in the AFC wildcard race. Number 20, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 17. Ron Rivera bested Cam Newton in their first showdown since the Carolina breakup. The 2015 league MVP looked very good for the most part, but a loss is a loss. Even with the Bank of America crowd fired up, Carolina's defense still struggled against Taylor Heineke. Matt Rule's group is now 5-6, but they're still in the thick of the NFC playoff race. If Cam can continue to shine, you have to think they're a strong bet for one of those final 2 wildcard spots. Number 19, Washington Football Team. Last time's ranking, 24. Speaking of teams who are alive in the NFC wildcard race, the legend of Taylor Heineke lives on after defeating 2 MVP-winning QBs in back-to-back weeks. Seriously, Washington has to consider giving this guy the reins for 2022 and beyond. He's certainly capable of winning games, as he's shown time and time again. Up next is a date with Seattle on Monday night, and a prime opportunity to make it 3 in a row. Number 18, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 25. Maybe these Eagles are for real. Jalen Hurts is playing at a Pro Bowl level. He has now gashed 2 of the NFL's top defenses in consecutive weeks. Darius Slay is having a career year. Devontae Smith is having a heck of a rookie season. And best of all, their remaining 6 games are against the Giants, Jets, Washington, Giants again, Washington again, and Dallas. In case you didn't notice, there are some very winnable games in there. Number 17, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 20. And just like that, the 49ers are alive and well again. After destroying the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football, the 49ers made the trip to the other side of the country and gave rookie Trevor Lawrence a rude welcoming to the NFL. San Fran is now 5-5 with 7 games to go. Up next, a pivotal home showdown with the identical 5-5 Minnesota Vikings in a game that just might determine who qualifies for the postseason. Number 16, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 18. The Browns may have got the W, but they only beat a winless Detroit team, with a backup QB, mind you, by a score of 13-10. And they were at home. Baker Mayfield is clearly too banged up to be effective right now. If Cleveland is dead set on making the postseason, they should consider letting him sit a few games and put Case Keenum in. Because if Baker can't get it done against the Lions, how do you think he'll fare against the likes of the Steelers, Ravens, and Bengals? Number 15, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 19. Kirk Cousins continued his career season by barely outdueling Aaron Rodgers and a Game of the Year candidate. Cousins is playing the best football of his career, and it certainly helps when you get to throw the ball to one of the league's top young wideouts in Justin Jefferson. It's all good vibes and mini right now. Number 14, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 11. The Steelers were without TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Joe Hayden, and they still almost pulled off a thrilling comeback against the Los Angeles Chargers. You can't really criticize the Steelers too much for this loss. They were about to be blown out the door before their never-quit attitude and a timely punt block by their special teams unit brought them right back in it. But here's the scary thing. None of Pittsburgh's 7 remaining games are against teams with a losing record. Needless to say, Mike Tomlin's group will be battle-tested big time here. Number 13, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 14. This is a team no AFC club should want to face in the postseason. That 0-3 start feels like a lifetime ago. Indianapolis just destroyed the powerhouse Bills in their own stadium, thanks to Jonathan Taylor's 5 touchdowns. Carson Wentz is quietly having himself a career season, and even the defense has turned things around by racking up the sacks and turnovers in bunches. We'll see if the Colts can stay hot when they welcome a familiar foe in Tom Brady to Lucas Oil Stadium this Sunday. Number 12, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 5. What an ugly and humiliating defeat for Sean McDermott's group. Buffalo has already surpassed last season's loss total, and there's still 7 games left. Josh Allen has been hot and cold all season, and right now, he is as cold as ice. Leslie Frazier's defense has started to slip up as well, and all of a sudden, the Bills are behind the Patriots for the AFC East lead. Number 11. Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 13. How do you know this is a different Chargers team? Well, they looked like they were about to pull off another classic Chargers choke job, only to pull off the big victory at the end. A blocked punt and a Justin Herbert pick allowed Pittsburgh to quickly erase a 17-point deficit. But Herbert's 53-yard strike to Mike Williams held up as the winner, and the Chargers narrowly avoided a 4th loss in 5 outings. Number 10, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 12. The Bengals regained their swagger after the bye, holding the Las Vegas Raiders offense to only 13 points in a potential season-saving victory. Joe Burrow didn't have to be at his best for Cincy to snap its 2-game losing skid, which goes to show just how well built this 2021 squad is. Number 9, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 9. The Rams' bye came at the perfect time. They got some extra time to prepare for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and what may be arguably the most intriguing game remaining on the 2021 regular season schedule. Can Matt Stafford and company avoid a 3rd straight loss? The Rams need this win if they want to stay alive in the race for top spot in the NFC. Number 8, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 4. The Dallas defense should take a bow for a solid performance against the Kansas City Chiefs, holding Patrick Mahomes and company to only 19 total points. But Dak Prescott couldn't get anything going without Tyron Smith and Amari Cooper. To make matters worse, CeeDee Lamb suffered a concussion and had to miss the second half, which also puts his availability for Thursday's game in jeopardy. Speaking of Thursday's game, it's a big one. Another loss, and the Cowboys could watch their once insurmountable NFC East lead disappear. Number 7, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 10. Tom Brady and the Bucs were expected to bounce back and snap their 2-game losing skid on Monday night against the Giants. And, well, yeah, they did exactly that. The defending champs were clicking on both sides of the ball, forcing 3 turnovers on defense and totaling over 400 yards of offense. With the Saints reeling, I think we can safely anoint them as the NFC South champs, but this team has bigger aspirations. Number 6, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 1. The Titans were stunned by the previous 1-win Texans at home, dropping them to 8-3 on the year. This offense just isn't the same without Derrick Henry, and injuries to Julio Jones and A.J. Brown are cause for concern. You do have to wonder how much longer this banged-up offense can keep it together before the wheels come off. The Titans don't have it any easier this week either, as they visit Bill Belichick and the surging Patriots. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 6. What an effort from Tyler Huntley, who led Baltimore to a late victory over the Bears in his first career start. Huntley was sacked 6 times and threw a pick, but he displayed a remarkable resilience and mental toughness to help the Ravens retain top spot in the AFC North. Another grade A coaching job by John Harbaugh's staff. Number 4, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 2. That was a tough loss to absorb, as the Packers fall behind Arizona in the race for the conference's number 1 seed. It was an uncharacteristically horrible day for the defense that did nothing against Minnie's top offensive stars. Rodgers' fourth-quarter heroics came too little too late. The truth is, a terrible first half led to Green Bay's undoing here. It's on to the Rams for Week 12. Number 3, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 7. And just like that, the Patriots are among the NFL's elite again. It took Bill Belichick 1 season to rebuild his Pats into a juggernaut. And the rest of the NFL should be downright terrified. They're mauling opposing offensive linemen and quarterbacks, while opposing pass catchers have nowhere to get open. And on the other side of the ball, the Pats O-line and rushing game are wearing defenses down like it's the 70s all over again. Who in the world wants to face these guys in the postseason? Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 8. Just like old times, it's Belichick's Pats and Mahomes' Chiefs who look like the top 2 squads in the AFC. The scary thing is, Mahomes and the KC offense still haven't kicked it into full gear yet. They're winning with a rapidly improving defense that has held opponents to just under 20 points in 4 consecutive weeks. Number 1, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 3. Without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, Arizona still crushed a desperate Seattle team on the road. They gave Russell Wilson nothing. DK Metcalf was a non-factor, and Colt McCoy pieced together a Murray-like outing with 328 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Arizona put the dagger in the hearts of their longtime rivals, but more importantly, they remain atop the NFC heading into their Week 12 bye. Life is good in the desert. But who do you think is the team to beat in the NFL heading into Week 12? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.